Hey guys, it's Haley and welcome to another bookish video. Today, I am giving you what you want. The number one request for a recommendation video theme recently is rich people drama. I already made a video on this. I let y'all know about my top 12 rich people drama thrillers. I will link it up above and down below if you haven't seen that, but y'all want more, okay? Y'all need more. Y'all eat up the rich people drama books just like me. If you love scandalous, dramatic stories about people with way too much money that they don't know what to do with and they end up getting themselves in trouble, you're gonna love this video. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it. The first recommendation I have, this one shook me. It got me out of a slump. It reimagined my thriller era. If you followed my channel last year in 2023, then you know I kind of fell out of my thriller era a little bit. This one brought it back, and that is No One Needs to Know by Lindsay Cameron. This book is so good. We are following these Upper East Side moms who are on this app called Urban Myth, and it's kind of like Yik Yak, and people's confessions and secrets that they put up on this app, which is completely anonymous, are shaking this little suburb. And everything goes wrong when the data from the app gets leaked, so people can see all of the email addresses that are attached to the confessions, and it ends up in murder. These people in this book, these characters are, dare I say, three-dimensional. They have dimension to them. It is not just like a throwaway rich people drama, these people are all pieces of shit kind of thriller. Like, they're actually very intriguing people, especially the female characters are very well developed, which I appreciated. All of the twists shocked me out of my socks. They literally shocked my socks off. And the plot is just really well done. It kept me engaged. It's so fast paced. It's short enough to just like binge in an afternoon. It was so good. I'm obsessed. Next up, we have The Truth Hurts by Rebecca Reed. I read this one in a reading vlog, and apparently the way that I talked about it, like, it appealed to a lot of people. So I've been getting a lot of messages about this book that y'all are reading it and y'all are liking it, which makes me so happy. This is about a nanny who originally is not rich at all. She's actually really down on her luck, but she gets the opportunity to travel to Aruba with the family that she's nannying for. And while she's there, the mom has a total freak out, fires her, and strands her in Aruba. And she's like, bitch, I'm literally broke. Like, I'm a nanny. Like, how am I supposed to get myself out of here? Continue paying for the room, pay for the flight home. Like, she is left in the lurch. And everything changes for her when this wealthy man comes up and is like, hey, how you doing? I will pay for everything because you're beautiful and I would like to marry you. And this girl just tries to get home, okay? So she's like, yeah, okay. And then a real relationship blossoms. And this is all very quickly in the first maybe like 15% of the book, because the rest of the book and the majority of the book, we're following this life, this whirlwind, wealthy life that she has with this man who seems very suspicious because his one stipulation when they get married is that he will take care of her, cover everything, and emotionally just like spoil her as well. But he never wants to talk about their pasts. Ever. So obviously he has some shady shit going on, but also our main girlie is fine with this because she also has some shady shit going on that she wants to keep from him. Everyone has secrets, everyone has lies. It is so rich people drama. Like, just the descriptions of the wealth were so juicy and all of the interweaving relationships were so scandalous. It was so much fun. Next up, I have Keep Your Friends Close by Lucinda Berry. Lucinda Berry to me is the queen of psychological thrillers, and I love a psychological thriller, but sometimes it can feel just like a little intense. You don't get that like fun, campy, easy read kind of feeling in a psychological thriller. I think this is the perfect balance of psychological and rich people drama that keeps it light and summery and fun. This is the perfect book to read by the pool, although I will say the opening scene is a woman being found dead in a pool, so don't get scared. Don't scare yourself there. Basically, there are these like West Hollywood moms that are all in this like little mommy group together, and they take care of their kids and whatever, but the real thing is like they sit around, drink wine, and talk shit about each other, and that is the majority of this book. We're following all these women and trying to figure out who possibly had a hand in the main character who is dead at the beginning of the book's death. The twists in this book are absolutely fucking insane. Insane. I read this book on reading sprints with my Patreon, and the last sprint that I did reading this book, I was literally like open mouth, like jaw dropped, just like staring into the void because I could not believe what I just read. Shocking twists, scandalous, interesting, psychological plot lines, great light summery atmosphere. What more do you need? Next up, I want to talk about The Weekend Retreat. This is also a recent read for me, and it's gotten mixed reviews, but I really liked it. We are following 3 siblings, 2 of which are twins, and it is their birthday. They're from a very wealthy family, so every birthday for the twins, everyone gathers at their family winery, and they have this like magical birthday weekend. But everyone's coming into this birthday weekend with secrets and lies and scandal, and of course, by the end of the weekend, someone ends up dead. We are reading throughout this book trying to figure out who is going to end up dead and who killed them and why. It's a classic murder mystery setup. It feels like very bougie, very like old, creepy, haunted mansion with just wealthy people in it. And it kind of has the feeling of like Clue, which I love that movie. Just like this big, gorgeous manor being shook in a thunderstorm and the power goes out and everyone's freaking out. And of course, everyone is hiding stuff from each other. These secrets in this book though actually felt like they had some weight and like some stakes to them. Sometimes I think these rich people drama books are just like, ultimately the motivation for everything is so stupid and vapid, but that is not this book. I felt like there were actually stakes in this one. The killer completely shocked me. It's not like my favorite new thriller of all time, but if you want a fun, atmospheric, rich people drama murder mystery, this one is great. Next up, let's talk about Unmissing by Minka Kent. I just read this one and it was so good. I have a vlog for it coming out in just a couple days with a few other new release thrillers, so be on the lookout for that. I've never read from Minka Kent before. This is my first one by her and I am sucked in. I immediately want to read more. In this book, we are following this extremely wealthy couple. I mean, like tech bro has a clear glass mansion on the seaside type of wealth. And his previous wife, before he married this one now, had been kidnapped. Well, things get a little dicey when Miss Girl, who was supposed to be dead because it's been 10 years that she was kidnapped, she escaped her kidnapper. And she shows up at the front door and is like, hey, I would like to see my husband. And the new wife is like, girl, what's going on here? You're supposed to be dead. So we're following the dual POVs of both wives as they try to figure out what's going on, how they're going to move forward, and put the pieces of this woman's kidnapping together. It was so twisty, so easy to read, just absolutely breakneck pace. I could not put it down. I needed to know what was going to happen next. I loved it. Next up, we have a rich people drama thriller with a little bit of a game twist. If you like a deadly game or like a social media kind of aspect in your book, you're really gonna like this one. That is Everyone is Watching by Heather Gudenkoff. In this one, we are following a competition show for $1 million that is being live streamed to all of America. And at the end of the day, the viewers will be the one to vote and decide who wins the $1 million after seeing this cast of people compete in a bunch of challenges. But the reason that we're all chosen for this reality show is a little bit dicey because they all have these very subtle connections to each other. So we start finding out why they're all connected, why they were all brought there, and of course, people end up dying and being picked off over the course of this game. So we're also trying to figure out who the killer is. Money and like the wealth of the show is a big focus throughout the book. Also, a few people competing on the show are extremely wealthy, and so they definitely have like a reputation to lose if they are portrayed in a bad light. But I like this one because we're also following some not wealthy, very sympathetic main characters that make it easy to get on board. Sometimes I feel like when I read a rich people drama book, it's like I feel so removed. There's nobody for me to align with. Obviously, I don't understand these like ultra rich people and I don't really have a lot of empathy for them. But in this one, it was so easy to just like put yourself in there and align with the characters. Next up, let's talk about Bad Summer People by Emma Rosenblum. Oh my God, I read this one at the beach and I loved it so much. I give it 5 stars. This was everything that I was wanting for a summer beachy rich people thriller. If you missed the vlog of me reading a bunch of summer thrillers at the beach, I will link it up above and down below for you. It's so much summer vibes, so fun. And you can get the full tea in that video about this book, but I will just briefly tell you what it's about. We are following all these people who come to an island off the East Coast to summer. And that's what they do. That's their little tradition. But this summer, something's different. There's a new man in town, a new hot tennis instructor. Honestly, if you like the movie Challengers, you have to read this. I love making those recommendation videos where it's like, if you like watching this, you should read this. That is definitely one pairing that is so accurate. If you like Challengers, you gotta read Bad Summer People. Everybody's cheating on each other. There's so much sexual tension. There's so much drama. And it's just these uber rich people on an island being messy. Oh, and someone dies. And we're trying to figure out who did it and why. Like, iconic. And I don't know, just some of the little things in here, the way that it was written, I just really liked it. It just felt like dirty, if that's a good thing. Like, I don't know. I just really liked it. Also, the night that the murder takes place, it was like a big storm. So throughout the whole book, at the beginning of each chapter, it'll be like this many days until the storm, like this many hours until the storm. And it's like, not this big summer storm. It's so good at building suspense. Next up, we have one of my favorites from last year, and that is None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. In this book, we are following a podcaster who has really made a great, wealthy life for herself, and she tries to be very giving, very connected to the community, so she's like more of a sympathetic, rich character. And her next podcast is going to be dedicated to this woman who she's really trying to help out and like lend her little helping hand to. But things get increasingly uncomfortable throughout the course of the book as she starts to find out more about the subject of her new podcast. This woman is just wackadoodle time, okay? I love following quirky characters, and this is definitely that. The twists in here were wild. It kept my attention from page 1, and I love the way that Lisa Jewell writes like quiet wealth. It just feels like such a luxurious, fun time reading her books. And the character dynamics, so well developed. I love Lisa Jewell for that. The way that she develops character relationships is so much more in depth than any other thriller author, I feel like. So highly recommend her whole backlist, but if you're looking for rich people drama specifically, this is a great one. Next up, let's talk about The Heiress by Rachel Hawkins. I feel like I have not raved about this one enough. It is so good. If you like The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, this has very similar vibes. We are following a couple, and the husband is alerted to the fact that his inheritance is like up for grabs. It's one of those classic like Knives Out situations where he has to go back and see his toxic family to collect on his inheritance. So we're following him and his wife as they return. We're also following his late mother's diary entries, and she was an heiress. She lived this like very Evelyn Hugo-esque life, and she is spilling the tea on the whole family. Not only is this a murder mystery building up to figuring out who the killer is, but there is so much drama and scandal that took place over the course of this woman's life that had ripple effects down to present day with her son. It is so well written. The vibes are so good. And I was brought back to reading Evelyn Hugo for the first time. She's like a very morally gray, woman that you just want to root for some reason. Absolutely love that character. Honestly, one of my favorite characters this year, and I don't think it's getting nearly enough hype. Next up, let's talk about my favorite pandemic book, and that is The Spare Room by Andrea Bartz. Y'all know, if you've heard me previously in other videos talk about pandemic books, I do not love books that have the pandemic in them. I just feel like it's too soon. I'm fucking burnt out on it. I don't want to go there. But this one did it right. We are following a woman who breaks up with her boyfriend in the middle of the pandemic, and she's like, fuck, I can't quarantine with you anymore. So she ends up quarantining with a woman and her husband that she like knew tangentially from like high school or college or something. So she doesn't know him super well. And she moves in there to quarantine, and things start being a little weird, being a little sus, and they develop this relationship between the three of them that is like I'll just say it, like, the bisexual energy is off the charts in this book. However, our main character starts to wonder about the last woman who was supposedly involved with the couple she's staying with, and that woman is now currently missing. So she starts to fear for her life. It is so creepy. This couple that she's staying with are like, they almost give like the wealthy white couple in Get Out, where it's like, everything is perfect, just stirring my tea in my perfect home by my perfect pool in my perfect neighborhood. Wouldn't you love to quarantine here? Where it's like almost uncanny valley, everything is so perfect. It creates a really interesting atmosphere, and you actually feel what our main character is feeling. Also, there's some like smut in here, y'all, and I'm never gonna be mad at that. We're getting into my last couple recs here, but if you want more, I have some bonus recommendations that I won't be including in this video that will only be available in the extended cut over on Patreon. If you'd like to sign up for my Patreon, it is linked down below. You get a ton of bonus content, plus access to my book club and so much more. No pressure, but if you want the extra recs, they're available for all tiers. Getting into the last couple recs now, we have The Senator's Wife by Liv Constantine. Liv Constantine, to me, this author duo are the queens of rich people drama. The way that they write wealth and luxury and like call out certain brands, and just the writing style of it is so top tier. And this is like not even just like rich people vibes. This is politician money. So it's like so much scandal, so much like political intrigue, so much insane money, corruption, like, okay, commentary. The senator's wife has passed away, and now he's starting a relationship very quickly with someone new who I believe was like previously connected to his late wife. So it's like not a good look, but it's fine. Our main character, the new senator's wife, loves her new little life in luxury until she starts getting sick. And she's wondering, like, what's going on? I was never sick before this, and his previous wife died. Is this man trying to take me out? And at the same time, she has a home health aide who might be a killer nurse. So it feels like everyone is really out to get this woman. I felt panicked reading this book. I was so mad and so scared for our main character. It literally felt like everyone was out to get her, and we're just trying to figure out who is the real culprit and which are the red herrings. Like I said, the rich people atmosphere was top tier, totally great. This is one that nobody ever talks about, but it was such an easy read and so fun. Also really unique. I feel like there's never really like political intrigue in just like a little thriller like this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's political intrigue in like a fucking, who's that man that I'm thinking of? James Patterson? I don't read that type of thriller. This is the type of thriller that I read. And it's nice to have a little bit of political spice in there every once in a while. And my last recommendation that I have for you in this video is Look Closer by David Ellis. This one, I don't know if I would necessarily recommend it for like summery rich people drama. Honestly, I would recommend you reading this one on Halloween, because the plot of this book is a woman is murdered on Halloween, and all of the chapters are like in relation to Halloween night. It'll be like 3 hours until Halloween night, 4 days since Halloween night. Like, everything is based off of Halloween when this woman was taken out. And we know that she was cheating on her husband. We don't know really who with. And we're digging into all the dirt, all the tea, all the gossip on all of these rich people in this community and how this woman ended up dead. It sounds like such a basic plot, like when you hear me say it like that, but trust me, the reading experience of this book is so phenomenal. The writing style is great. It looks like really thick, like it's kind of a long book, but it goes so fast. It's just like candy. Like I could just eat and eat and eat up this thriller, and I did. It's such a long book, and I think I read it in 2 sittings. The twists were shocking, although there were a couple plot holes that I found, but regardless, it was such a fun time. And another one that I feel like y'all need to be reading this one. Nobody ever talks to me about Look Closer. Let me know if you like it. So those are all of the rich people drama thrillers I have for you guys for this recommendation video. Let me know if you've read any of these and you liked them, or if there are any other rich people drama thrillers that I should read so I can recommend them to y'all. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Don't forget to go down and check out my Patreon for the extended cut, extra recommendations, and of course, don't forget to go to therapy and read a book this week. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!